Ladies and gentlemen, I interrupt my Labor Day vacation to bring you a special bulletin. President Trump will get his special master. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is another declaration of truth from your host, Terry A. Hurlbut. Yes, today, Judge Aileen Cannon of the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Florida has ordered the appointment of a special master to review materials the FBI took during the Trump raid. The judge furthermore enjoined the government from looking any further at the documents they seized. That injunction will last until the special master has had time to review the documents. He mainly will examine for questions of attorney-client privilege, but also for executive privilege. Before we get down into the weeds about this order, I do want to shout out to the prime sponsor of this channel, which is Conservative News and Views, link in the description. Be sure to check out the awesome CNAV Store. Scroll down near the bottom for that link. Lots of great merchandise there, including this t-shirt that I have selected for today. It depicts President Trump and calls him the Great MAGA King. I make no bones about it. This is a significant victory for him. It is by no means final, but it serves further to clip the wings of the FBI. Reportage on the order to appoint a special master comes from the Western Journal, Just the News, the Daily Caller, ABC News, and National Public Radio. In addition, we have the 24-page order that Judge Cannon handed down today, to which I have a link in the description. The case is called Trump versus the United States, case number 22-8-1294-Civ-Cannon, for those of you with access to FindLaw, Lexis, and other such services. Before I go any further, I want to give you two definitions so you'll understand what Judge Cannon did today. First, a special master is an officer of a court with powers and orders to do a certain case-related duty. Special masters answer only to the court and not to parties to the case at hand or any other case. Second, to enjoin a party is usually to tell it to stop doing something or not to start that thing. The usual expression of that effect reads to enjoin from. The phrase to enjoin to means to order a party to do a particular thing. The usual noun for the effects of enjoining is injunction. The government lawyers asserted that the court need not appoint a special master because it had already reviewed the documents. In other words, the Privilege Review Team, which I'm going to abbreviate as PRT, had already picked out documents holding privileged communications and withheld those from the investigative team. Or did they? Judge Cannon specifically cited two instances in which PRT members handed documents to investigators only to have those investigators tell them, oops, these are privileged, or words to the same or similar effect. Now, somebody who makes a silly mistake says, oops. The rest of us say, sloppy. Well, Judge Cannon did not use that word, but she clearly meant it. She also spoke, or cited authorities that spoke, of a fox guarding the henhouse. In any case, President Trump had not even heard from the PRT on matters of privileged information. Furthermore, the special master will be looking at more than attorney-client privilege. He or she will also examine for executive privilege. The current White House has waived executive privilege regarding anything Trump had in his possession. The court is having none of that. Judge Cannon wrote that if successors can waive privilege in the name of predecessors, then executive privilege means nothing. In addition to granting a special master, the court also enjoined the government from any further review or use and investigation of any of the material they seized from Mar-a-Lago until the special master has had time to finish his or her review. The court set a deadline of Friday, September 9, 2022, for the two parties to agree on 1. Possible candidates for the job, and 2. An order of appointment setting forth the specific duties the special master will have. President Trump has also asked for a more detailed property receipt and the return of any items seized in excess of the search warrant. The court deferred ruling on those two requests until after the special master makes a report. In her 24-page order, Judge Cannon really cleaned the FBI's clock. But before I get into how, I want to shout out to a sponsor who can really help you through the economic storms to come. That sponsor is oursilverlines.com. You feel like you're working harder for your money just to get by? You are not alone. The fluctuating economy, employment issues, and unexpected changes in life have left many families struggling over the past few years. Collecting gold and silver can help shield you against many of these challenges. But if you're like me many years ago, you don't know where or how to start. Our Silver Lines helps by connecting you with thousands of members who are learning the secrets to creating and protecting true wealth by collecting precious metals. Now, whether you just want to collect rare and unique coins or take advantage of the business opportunities that company provides, they can help you learn to live an exceptional life. Visit oursilverlines.com to learn how you can build a legacy for your future. Now then, by far, the sharpest rebuke Judge Cannon gave the government lay in her assertion of subject matter jurisdiction in the case. With regard to Trump's property interest in the material the FBI seized, she wrote, and I quote, "The government also has acknowledged that it sees some personal effects without evidentiary value, and by its own estimation, upwards of 500 pages of material potentially subject to attorney-client privilege. Thus, based on the volume and nature of the seized material, the court is satisfied that plaintiff has an interest in and need for at least a portion of it, even if the underlying subsidiary detail as to each item cannot reasonably be determined at this time, based on the information provided by the government to date." Here again, Judge Cannon accuses the government at minimum of sloppy procedures. Then, with regard to the irreparable harm Trump has suffered and might suffer, Judge Cannon wrote this: "In addition to being deprived of potentially significant personal documents, which alone creates a real harm, plaintiff faces an unquantifiable potential harm by way of improper disclosure of sensitive information to the public. Furthermore, plaintiff is at risk of suffering injury from the government's retention and potential use of privileged materials in the course of a process that thus far has been closed off to the plaintiff, and that has raised at least some concerns as to the efficacy, even if inadvertently so. Finally, plaintiff has claimed injury from the threat of future prosecution and the serious, often indelible stigma associated therewith." Now, in this connection, she cited the case of Ritchie versus Smith, 515 F2D at 1245 from 1975. On appeal to what was then the 5th Judicial Circuit before it became the 11th Circuit. That court wrote, and again I quote, "A wrongful indictment is no laughing matter. It often works a grievous, irreparable injury to the person indicted. The stigma cannot be easily erased. In the public mind, the blood on a man's escutcheon resulting from such a public accusation of wrongdoing is seldom wiped out by a subsequent judgment of not guilty. Frequently the public remembers the accusation and still suspects guilt even after an acquittal." Mr. Dick Morris, retired Judge Andrew Napolitano, and other influencers have already said they expect the government to indict Trump. After all, they all say, any government can get a true bill of indictment against even a ham sandwich. But the White House cannot expect an indictment to stop Trump from running for president again. Nothing in the Constitution precludes this. And by the way, as ever, I encourage anyone with a contrary opinion to leave a comment as long as you observe the rules of civility. But don't bother citing the insurrection or rebellion clause of the 14th Amendment. First, no one has yet adduced one scintilla of evidence that Trump planned or ordered the January 6th event. Second, you have to consider the Act of June 6, 1898, Chapter 389, 30, Statutes 432, removing the disability under that clause. Furthermore, the language of this order, and especially its quote from Ritchie versus Smith, would make any stigma from any such indictment ineffective. Those who had decided to vote against Trump anyway will doubtless cite this indictment, but the rest of the population will just as easily dismiss the indictment as nothing more than a colossal annoyance. So those who have weaponized the FBI and our federal courts as a substitute for election campaigns have only themselves to blame for the failure of any such stigma to stick. That goes double after President Biden's divisive, menacing, and ultimately infuriating speech of last week and the legacy media's fawning reviews of it. President Trump had this to say today following Judge Cannon's order. Remember, it takes courage and guts to fight a totally corrupt Department of Justice and the FBI. They are being pushed to do the wrong things by many sinister and evil outside forces. Until impartiality, wisdom, fairness, and courage are shown by them, our country can never come back or recover. It will be reduced to being a third world nation, unquote President Trump. And I absolutely agree with that. All of it. By outside forces, President Trump clearly means the World Economic Forum and its leaders. Today's order raises the stakes for the FBI and this White House. Dissension is already growing in the ranks, with calls for Director Chris Wray to resign and those calls are coming from the ranks. This special master order can only make that worse. Links in the description of the article to the order and to conservative news and views. I've also left links to the awesome CNAV Store and to oursilverlines.com, as I also mentioned. And if you like what you've heard, you can like this video and click the bell icon to get notices as soon as I put out another video. You can also click on the super thanks icon, the heart shape with a $sign in it, and then literally leave me a tip. And on the end screen, I'm going to leave a subscribe link and links to videos I've already done on the Trump raid and the reputation of the FBI. This is Terry A. Hurlbut delivering another declaration of truth and reminding you to let the truth set you free.